here. Whoops. Test, test. Test, test. Okay. Right. So we are going to stop our friend here, stop share, and I will clean our screen here. This is useful if you want to go back and record, go back and revise what happened in the classroom. Those of you who are asking, okay, where is it? So earlier on, where is it? Here. Yeah. The last page on our whole number, chapter 1, we are looking at identifying a pattern. So these kind of questions are very common. One example is here. This is a primary 4 question. So for those of you who are interested, you can go back and take a look. A similar question for pattern finding. Okay, this is on my channel. Now, I'm going to play here. Okay, so for those of you who want to revise, that's why I put this video recording up. Okay, let me put this full screen. Can see? Okay, so I'm on page 21 now. Now, it's important that we follow a certain way of doing it that help us to be able to do it accurately and fast. And when we need to check for mistakes, it's easier to check for mistakes. Now, I noticed that some of you have tried it, like Tiffany, you have tried it. I and Atisham yesterday, he was excited to wanting to try it. However, I was quick to tell you, Atisham, don't do it. And Tiffany, I didn't manage to tell you, no, don't do it yet. Because right now, you might feel that you have a lot of space to complete these questions. In an exam time, when a problem is such as this, for example, a word problem, the space here is for solving the entire word problem. So you need to organize the workspace for equations, for working, for a few things. For model drawing, for equations, for workings. If you don't learn how to organize the workspace, then your workings are going to be everywhere. It's difficult to find the answer. So over here, this is our first step to learning how to organize our answers and workings to get to the answer. So for Tiffany and Atisha, I need you to really look it again. Okay? And then for those of you who tried to do these questions with a calculator, I can tell you are not allowed to do it. You have to redo them and show the workings. For example, let's look at this one. This is page 21. It says here, so today we are going to attempt this chord multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands. It's slightly different from the first page where you see multiplying by 10, 100, and 1000. So for this, the pattern we identified was pretty quick. We kind of add, not really add, but you top up with some zeros at the back, add zeros behind. But I don't really like this term add because it's addition. It's not quite right. Okay. So when we move on to level 2 here, we are talking about using the same pattern, same technique to solve. So, but in this case, we are looking at 4 tenths. Now, why is it important to follow this manner of doing it? Let me show you first. So I'm going to leave a small portion. I won't draw a line, but I will estimate less than half the space, maybe 1/3 of the space for workings. I won't draw a line, up to you to decide how much space, but I will say roughly 1/3 for working. Okay. Now let's say I draw a line for a start. For most of us who are neat and tidy, you don't have to draw a line. So yeah, you don't really have to draw a line, up to you. Okay. If you are neat and tidy, you might be able to have some. You you will be able to space out well. If you're not, you have trouble being neat and tidy, and then you tend to write everywhere. Like sometimes I do. I don't have straight lines. I write my sentence, it will like start flying in the air. Okay, then you probably want to draw the line. Now, here says estimate first, then you multiply. Use a calculator to check your answers. Now, we have been learning race till now to the extent that we don't really need to write RACE. What it means, we read the question. The important things that we need to do, the steps to the question, the action words. Estimate first, action word. Number 2, multiply. Number 3, use a calculator to check. So for E, you already know to check, to evaluate is using the calculator to check. This is the final step. That means you shouldn't use the calculator anytime before it. Okay? Right. Okay, so now we're getting ready. First, I estimate. So looking at, I'm going to put this out as a little portion as estimate. Maybe something like that. Here's my estimation. So I estimate maybe 76 times 40. I can estimate is probably about 80 times 40. Probably like that. So if maybe the answer will be about 320. Sorry, 3,200 to be exact. What do I mean by 3,200? Because there are 2 zeros here. Now, because 8 times 10 times 4 times 10, this is what it looks like. So I can do 8 times 4, 32, 10 times 100. That's what it means. Now, why is this important is later I'll show you. We do in these steps for to help us in our order of operations at the back. Okay? And further difficult questions. So in this case, I estimate the answer should be probably about 3,200. Then I multiply. For here, I will do 76. For 40, I'll break it up to 4 times 10. Okay? So I can do 76 times 10 first, or I can do 76 times 4. For me, I will choose to do 76 times 4 first. Because the number is a bit smaller. If I times 10, that means that if I do 76 times 10 first, then I have to do I have to do this. Then I have to do 760 times 4. Okay, I choose this. I think this method a bit longer. If I do 76 times 4, please remember when you do working, the symbol must be there. I better mute myself first. Now, so for most of us, we probably don't need to do this. I do this to help our friends who are having difficulty with the timetable. So for those of you who are feeling that I'm worried about my timetable now, remember you just wrote it down, right? Use it to check. Okay, so I've done this. I can write down 304. Then I cannot forget. I cannot forget my times 10. In other words, I did this first. Okay, then I get my answer. Now, some of our friends who are fast, I really know this, I can write this immediately. That's good. But I advise you and encourage you, don't jump steps. Start the good habit of moving down equations step by step. Very important because later on we have multi-step under other operations. So we'll be doing this in like next week. Okay? Start the habit of doing step by step. Don't jump steps. Yes, Rahul? No. Yes. 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 Later that I put the camera towards you, you can pose for you, okay? Right. Yeah. Now, is this okay? Now, Rahul, I said no because I really want to focus us on going step by step. This is times 40. You might think that times 40 still can do. What about times 5,600? Yeah. So what I want us to really focus is, see, yeah? This is okay. Is this okay? Okay, next one. Next one, I break up that 166 times 30. I make it become times 3 times 10. Because 3 times 10 is, because 30 is 3 times 10. Can you understand? Can I? Then I move on to doing my working 166 times 3. Like I say, if your time cycle is good, you do it fast. Then times 10. Finish. Oh, I forgot to do an important step just now. So just now I estimated, does the answer look close? Looks quite close, right? So this estimation step help you to check, you think your answer correct or not? If let's say your answer is like 304, then very far away. Then something must be wrong. Okay? All right. Is this okay, everybody? So I can do the same estimation. I can estimate to 170 or 200 times 30. That gives me about, the main idea is with estimation is that, let's say I round it to 200 times 30, the answer will be about 6,000. Now, even though the answer looks a bit far apart, my main purpose of doing this is to look at the numbers, the place value that these numbers are in. What I mean is that I'm looking at a number that is up to 100. And then it's multiplied by a number in the tens place. So when I multiply together, I should get an answer that's up to the thousands place, at least. Then I see, it's indeed in the thousands place. So that's the purpose of estimation. You know what I'm talking about? So if you realize that your answer is in the hundreds place, something must be very wrong. Okay? So my purpose of estimation shouldn't be like requiring me to do another tedious working. It should be a quick, without using a lot of my brain energy to do the estimation. Okay? Can or not? Now, for this one, the next question, I move on. I can choose, because now I know that 3 times 2 is equals to 2 times 3. The sequence is not very, I can swap them around. I can look at this and I can say it's like this. Same thing. Okay? Or I can just do 7 times 10 times, also same thing. I can also do 10 times 7 times 5,600. Or I can also do they all mean the same thing. Can you understand? All these equations all mean the same thing. They are all equal. They are all equal to one another. Can you understand? So you can see that I break up the 7 times 10 like number bond. You remember number bond? So 70 is 7 times 10. So I can break up the number bond in this manner, here or here, and position it differently. Doesn't really quite matter. But I like to do it in the last one here because it's like going to left to right. It's easier to go left to right. So let's say I do the working now. I can ignore the zeros. So I can highlight. So shortcut, shortcut. Shortcut is like saying is also equals to 56 times 700. Oh, sorry. 56 times 7 times 100 times another 10. So I kind of like put the zeros together. So I kind of ignore all the zeros. I do the multiplication, 56 times 7. Then I put the zeros behind. Can you understand? So actually, essentially, I only need these two steps. But any of these steps are also okay. Can you understand? Okay. So by now we are probably 5. The truth is every one of us may have different preferences. Choose the method that gets you to the answer the fastest. Okay. All right. So I may be choosing the last one. For me, I feel that this is the quickest because I just do 56 times 7. Then count the zeros. I put that at the back. Okay. Moving on. Go a bit faster now. Okay. This one, like for example, I do the estimation for this. This is 22, right? All workings must be shown. Estimate first, then multiply. I can use a calculator. You can go back and use a calculator to check if you want at home. I'm not going to use the calculator here. I'll focus on the working steps. I can do my estimation. So it's about 30 times 300. So it'll be about 9,000. That will be the answer. The estimation can be quite fast. Then I do my working. So I have 29 times 300. I can do 29 for times 3, then times 100. Equal sign 29 times 3. 9 times 3, 27. Do my regrouping. Finish. Okay. Once you get the hang of it, the idea of it, it becomes easier. Okay. I jump to the next page on page 23. If I do the estimation, it's about 300 times 8,000. So 3 times 8 is 24. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros behind. So you should get all the way to millions. Now, I can do a million multiplication by not being afraid of it. Difficult or easy? Okay, maybe a bit challenging because your times table must be really good. But once you get a hang of it, not that difficult. So the next one, the estimation, same way. About 100 times 7,000. So I should get about the estimation at the bottom. 7, and then the main idea is to focus on the number of zeros. Because of focusing on the place value. Then I do okay. I'm not sure whether I did this correctly because I'm doing it quite fast. I'll go back and check with my calculator. That's okay? It's okay. But during exam time, this page, no calculator is allowed. Yeah. But in paper 2, all the questions will look like this. By the time questions look like this, the calculator is supposed to help you with the calculations. You don't waste time on calculations. But in paper 1, no calculator, you should be able to do this without a calculator. Hello, by the time you press the calculator, I already done it already. You know what I'm talking about? No. And for calculator, you might press the wrong number some more. And the truth is, you really cannot use a calculator for this. You must train yourself to be good at this. Okay? P6, then the number will be multi-step. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Now, your homework, finish these 2 pages. Is that okay? I want to see nice, neat steps. Okay? Nice, neat steps. Okay? Nice, neat steps I did. Okay? Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Anybody want to post? Okay.